You've also written that for the oligarchy, the crisis is over. They won. They have all the money. $5 trillion is enough to create a new ruling class in America for the next century. What is the crisis? You say it's not a financial crisis, but a political crisis. Could you explain that?
Well, the crisis basically was financial at root. It's the inability to pay. The debts far exceeded the ability to pay. Now, for the last few hundred years, actually for the last 4,000 years, when people couldn't pay, the debts either were wiped out or property owners forfeited their property to foreclosing creditors. But one way or another, the debts went way down. This crisis is different, and the Bush and the Obama administration are handling things in an identical fashion. There seems to be no difference at all between the Republicans and the Democrats here. Now, politically, the government says, okay, we know that the debts are in advance of the ability to pay. Let's have the government issue as many treasury bonds as it can, give all of us gamblers for derivative trade, give us the people who've played the derivative market, played the futures market, betting against currencies and exchange rates and stock market prices. Let's give all the money to all of the winners and then let the economy essentially collapse. We'll take the money, and some of it we'll use to buy property. Some of it we'll move abroad if we can find a market. We'll try to move some into China. We'll move some into the third world. We'll buy natural resources. We'll take the money and run. And essentially, for the last year, the Treasury policy has been for the financial sector and the hedge funds and the gamblers who are rich enough to invest in hedge funds to try to get as much money as they can, grab it now, and let the economy shrink.
You have also said that this crisis has happened before, for example, in the Roman Republic.
Yes, in Rome, what happened was that 25% of the population was reduced to bondage or slavery and impoverished by the creditors. And if you'd lost your land to a foreclosing creditor, you had to find someone to be a patron for you, and you'd be a client of a patron, and you'd say, okay, here I am, I can fight, I'll be loyal to you, give me a plot on your land, and all I want is the ability to grow enough food to feed my family and grow enough wool to weave clothes and to provide for us. And so you had the large creditors who made their financial fortunes would all plow their money back into the land. They'd buy land because owning land was the ability to offer clients a means of subsistence. And at the end of this road was the Dark Age. The Roman wealthy class didn't put its money into making more industry or handicraft or expansion. It left foreign trade largely in the hands of Near Easterners and merchants, and so you had life de-urbanize and retreat to self-sufficient estates on the land, which is where most of the handicraft workshops were resettled. The weaving was done on the land, the clothes making was done on the land, the food was produced there, and essentially you had a lapse back into a subsistence economy as the financial sector just stripped whatever ability there was to produce, and especially Rome stripped its colonies in Asia Minor, what's now Turkey, and anywhere else that it could just extract that tribute from, and the whole Roman Empire in the West was stripped. It survived in the East, in Byzantium, and so while Western Europe fell into feudalism, the Byzantine Empire was the one part that survived until the Crusades mounted a military attack and looted Byzantium and Constantinople and seized its gold and silver and used this to create banking fortunes that were lent out to kingdoms to wage war against each other. And then you had the public debt development that we discussed earlier in the interview.
Well, if it looks like we're heading back into debt peonage, what measures should labor take? I mean, what do you think ideally people should do at this point?
Well, obviously, the idea of investing pensions in the stock market isn't going to work if the money that you're saving and putting into the stock market goes down and down in price. Suppose you've been working for 20 years, putting your money in. Last year's stock market decline has wiped out 10 years of your saving. So that's not what to do. You want the same thing with Social Security. The government pretended that it was imposing the FICA wage withholding in order to save up money for Social Security, but what it really did was provide the Treasury with money that it could afford tax cuts on the rich. So labor should say, look, we want to take the German rule. We want a pay-as-you-go Social Security, pay it out of taxes, not out of our wages, but out of a return to progressive taxation, even what you had in the Clinton era, but ideally what you had in the Reagan era, when at least you had the remnants of a progressive tax system before the Democrats under Clinton slashed taxes. And you want to essentially finance Social Security and medical care out of progressive taxation that falls mainly on the rich. So they want to return to that. They want to raise the capital gains tax so it's taxed at least as high as normal income, preferably at a higher rate of normal income, because you want companies to earn a profit by actually producing goods and services. You don't want them to make capital gains by buying and selling other companies and financial manipulation, which is what creates the finance capital gains. So those are the two big things. And you also, if you're labor, you want to stop the tax deductibility of interest payments. You want to shift the economy away from a debt-oriented economy towards an equity-oriented economy, just as was suggested by the Saint-Simonians and endorsed by almost all the 19th century classical economists. So you're going to want to restore those three basic planks of classical economics.
Something happening, yeah. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there.
I've been speaking with Dr. Michael Hudson. Today's show has been The Financial Barbarians at the Gate. Dr. Hudson is a financial economist and historian. He is president of the Institute for the Study of Long-Term Economic Trend, a Wall Street financial analyst, and distinguished research professor of economics at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. His 1972 book, Super Imperialism, The Economic Strategy of American Empire, is a critique of how the United States exploited foreign economies through the IMF and World Bank. He is also author of The Myth of Aid and Global Fracture, The New International Economic Order. Dr. Hudson has been a consultant to foreign governments including Canada, Mexico, and Russia. Visit his website at www.michael-hudson.com. That's Michael-Hudson, Hudson.com. Guns and Butter is produced and edited by Bonnie Faulkner and Yarrow Mako. To leave comments or order copies of shows, call 510-848-6767, extension 628, or email us at blfaulkner@yahoo.com. That's BLFAULKNER@yahoo.com. Our website, gunsandbutter.net.